Alright, as I was getting ready to do the top of the hulls on the twins, I realized something. There's a detail on the ISS that I had forgotten to prep for the USS version, or not the USS version, but the new hull. Namely, these Imperial banner sections on the top of the hull. I had not made the decals for them. So what I've done rather, is I went in and masked off the areas where I wanted them to be. I've since gone in with some Createx airbrush yellow, brushed in the color. Then I'll go in and with a Sharpie put in a border around the sections, and I'll follow that with putting a coat of sealer over them so I can get the decals on. But that's where we're sitting at the moment. Okay, got the colored areas finished now and lined in black using the fine tip Sharpie. It's also been sealed up. Now all I've got to do is apply the sword and earth emblems in the two areas, and they'll be ready to go. Okay, I really got to find a new... Yeah, we'll worry about that later. Alright, getting to the point, we're working on the Aztecs on the upper hulls. I've got the Microsol doing its thing, but here we've got the kit Aztecs on the top of the USS hull, and the Aztecs done from the 1701B set. It's all laying down fairly well now. Same thing with the ISS hull. Got a huge bubble there. And the Aztecs have settled down over the banners I painted, making it look more like they were actually part of the hull. I still got some of the detail decals to do on the tops of the hulls, and I've still got to do the Aztecs on the struts and engines, but things are slowly moving along. Okay, it's been a slow process, but at this point, if I can keep the camera from falling over, at this point I've got the Aztecs on the struts and nacelles. Still got to do a little bubble popping and retreating with the Microsol, but we are getting there. With the ISS version, I opted not to Aztec the nacelles themselves. What I did is first I painted the insets with a green ink, and then I went in with a custom mixed dark gray and painted the rest of the engine. At this point, all that's left with the USS version nacelles is the registry numbers, and then those will be ready to go. I've also got to go in and paint the RCS thrusters and the running lights. On the hulls, I still have to do the sensor banding and windows and upper hull detail paint registry. We are getting close. At this rate, by next weekend, I should have this done. Alright, I apologize for the fact we're back on shaky cam, but that's because the model won't fit on the bench. I learned this when I did this 3 years ago. But speaking of the model, at this point we are calling it done for the second time. As you can see, both ships have been remounted to the base. Assembly is complete. All markings are in place, as is the detail painting. I apologize for the fact the model is bouncing, but that's because of the way they're attached to the base. The battle damage on the ISS hull was done with a combination of a mix of... I started with a mix of black and Tester's Model Glow, the tube stuff, which gives you a little bit of the texture, albeit not much. Then I dabbed a little silver into the mix. And after that was all done, I went in and dry brushed it with Vallejo smoke. As you can see, the bottom of the ship wasn't spared either. The USS version is, of course, much cleaner. Again, all markings are in place. The nacelle strut assembly on. This one is, of course, clean. Factory fresh, if you will. Turned out pretty good. And again, I've got the two on the base like they're passing each other, literally in a mirror having two sides. I want to thank all of those of you who followed the revival of this build. It wasn't fun, but I'm of the opinion it needed to be done. I'm going to go ahead and put some stills at the back end of this. Again, thank you all for watching.